So I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys here. The one thing I've always been afraid of when it comes to Assassin's Creed games is that all the upcoming Assassin's Creed games are turning out to be something that is not Assassin's Creed at all. And let's admit this, one of the biggest reasons that we are all afraid of is the fantasy and magic in the game. And now it seems like Assassin's Creed Valhalla is going to have none of those things. Mythology in this game is going to be treated a little bit different from what we actually thought it could end up being. Now this information is officially confirmed by the game director himself, Darby McDevitt, who has now stated that there is going to be no magic in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We will treat mythology the same way as we did with Assassin's Creed Origins. Now, of course, I just want to give a big shout out to Access the Enemies because these guys just keep us updated with all the latest information we ever need about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now, this is what they said on their official Twitter page, which says, narrative director Darby McDevitt stated in Assassin's Creed that there's going to be no magic and that Assassin's Creed Valhalla will be treating mythology the same way as Assassin's Creed Origins. Now, what does that mean? What happens to the sci-fi elements that is present in the game? Well, the sci-fi elements or the sci-fi aspects of the enemies is still going to be present in this game. But when it comes to magic, like what we've seen with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, let's say, it's kind of like a little bit ruined on what Assassin's Creed games stand for these days. And let me tell you, not a lot of Assassin's Creed fans were really happy about what Ubisoft has been doing with Odyssey. And it is not because the game is RPG or something different from what they've tried before. No, I completely understand that Odyssey was a really good game. I enjoyed playing every single minute of that game. The storyline was pretty well done, as well as the gameplay and the RPG elements and all that stuff. But when it comes to Assassin's Creed games, that game did not kind of like show us what a real Assassin's Creed game stood for, because all these years we have been having the battle between the Assassins and Templars. And don't get me wrong, it is good in order to change tracks and try something different, but Odyssey kind of took things a little way too far, I would say. And in my opinion, I did not enjoy Odyssey as an Assassin's Creed game, and that is something I'm really afraid that Assassin's Creed Valhalla could fall into. And I just don't want to see this game fail or be something that is not really an Assassin's Creed game. So this now means that the game is going to be sticking more towards a grounded approach, which means that we're not going to be seeing some kind of magical elements like you casting some spells or whatever. And of course, Eivor is not going to be a supernatural human being or a demigod like what we've seen in Odyssey, which is a big win-win in my perspective, of course, because we will now actually get to play as a real human being who is a Viking as well as turns into an assassin or probably even Templar. Depends on the player choices that you choose in the game. I suppose it is not really confirmed, but one thing that is confirmed is that you're going to be working with the hidden ones who are the assassins basically. Now moving on to the next information here, Xbox Store, the official Xbox Store has given us the full game size of Assassin's Creed Valhalla and how much is going to be the download size of this game on your next generation consoles as well as the current gen consoles. Now according to Xbox Series X, it seems like Assassin's Creed Valhalla is going to be 50.01 gigabytes in size, which is 5 gigabytes more than Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which kind of makes me feel like there might be a little bit more content in Valhalla compared to what we've already seen in Odyssey or even Origins. Now taking a look at Access the Enemies tweet here, who now said that Origins and Odyssey which stood at 42 and 45 gigabytes respectively, which means that Assassin's Creed Valhalla is 5 gigabytes much more than Odyssey and probably around 7 gigabytes more than Origins, which means that there is going to be a little bit more of a content in this game, or maybe this could just be the higher texture packs that are present in the game, since this game is sort of like a next-gen kind of title. But to be honest though, man, I'm really surprised that Assassin's Creed Valhalla is just 50 gigabytes in size, because most of the games that are coming out in the end of the year 2020 or at least of about 80 to 100 plus gigabytes in size. And it is kind of really surprising to see that an open world game, which is massive open world by the way, is only 50 gigabytes on the next generation consoles, especially taking in concerns of the next gen SSD capacities, which will not be able to store 1 terabyte of file size on the Xbox Series X. And when it comes to PlayStation, we can only store games up to 600 gigabytes, and I think 50 gigabytes for Assassin's Creed Valhalla is a pretty good deal. Now also lads, we have more information about the settlement which will be present in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is now shared by Access the Enemies, and where the actual location of the settlement will be present in the game. Now here in Access the Enemies tweet, they have now said that here are 2 pictures that may show show the settlement's location in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They actually showed the settlement's location in the first playable version of the game. It's unknown whether the location has changed ever since. Now here's the location, which is pretty much in the center of the entire map, and I believe that all the way towards the right side of the ocean there is this huge Norway map, which they haven't really shown in the first gameplay demo, or at least they did not allow the YouTubers to share all of those details in any of the gameplay videos. Now here it seems like your settlement is going to be present in this big kingdom called as Mercia, which is in between of East Anglia and Wessex, which are one of the biggest kingdoms and also known to be one of the most reputable kingdoms back in those Viking eras. Now according to history though, this whole part of Wessex is actually ruled by a king named Alfred, also known as Alfred the Great, who's the only king who managed to kill all the Danes, also known as the Vikings. So you kind of call Danes the Vikings and Vikings the Danes. Those were the words they used back in those days apparently. And it seems like your settlement is going to be surrounded by all of these enemy kingdoms, which kind of puts the players into forced option, where you as a player will have to make choices in this game, where you will have to choose on which kingdom you want to align with and which kingdom you want to make enemies with. So you as Eivor will have to go talk to your war chief, and this war chief kind of brings up this map where you will be able to choose on which of these kingdoms you want to align with and what kind of chances do you have here in order to make an alliance. Now here you can also see something called as the power level, which I believe is something that you will have to reach in order to make an alliance with these kingdoms. So like Ubisoft and creative director of this game have already stated, making friendship, alliance, marriage, and also enemies are going to be one of the biggest part of this game, and that is something I'm really looking forward to seeing how it's going to be working out in this game. Now let's moving on to the next information. This is kind of a leak. We don't really know if this is true or maybe it's just some kind of a fake leak, so just take it to a grain of salt, because leaks are always supposed to be taken to a grain of salt. Now it seems like Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass is offering Assassin's Creed Valhalla in the coming months, and this is just a leak. We don't know if it's true. This could easily be fake as well, because anybody could Photoshop this and just upload it on the internet. I'm just letting you guys know like what kind of leaks we've just received here. Now it seems like Assassin's Creed Valhalla could end up being an Xbox Game Pass game, which means that PC players as well as Xbox players will be able to play Assassin's Creed Valhalla for just $1, which is crazy to be honest. Which to be honest is really crazy, and I don't know if Ubisoft would end up making such a deal and losing a lot of money that way. I mean, Microsoft would have paid them a lot of money as well, but still kind of feels like too good to be true. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what do you guys think about this one. Now with that being said, lads, we have much more information dropping in every single day about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So if you guys are interested to know all of those information, and also if you're looking for a YouTube channel that covers Assassin's Creed Valhalla every single day, and a channel that is dedicated to covering this game, and if you're looking forward to seeing those videos, then make sure to go ahead and subscribe to my channel, turn the little bell notification on so you don't miss out on my daily uploads every single day. And also if you guys did go on and enjoy this video and want to show a token of appreciation, then all you can do is basically drop a like on this video. That really does help the channel out, so make sure you guys take a few seconds of your life and drop a like. That would really help me out. With that being said, lads, I hope you guys have a blast over day, and I'll see you guys on tomorrow's video. Until then, take it easy fams, and goodbye.